The connected ball sensor, the offside determinant, a microscopic suspension system hidden deep inside the absolute center of the match ball. To someone who's never seen this, it transmits positional data 500 times per second. Combined with player tracking cameras, it mathematically identifies the exact millisecond a boot strikes the leather, providing the definitive, unarguable proof for semi-automated offside decisions. Goal line receiver watch, the ultimate judge. A heavy, encrypted digital smartwatch worn on the referee's wrist, it does not tell time. Synced to 14 stadium cameras, when the ball fully crosses the goal line by a single millimeter, the cameras trigger a dedicated signal. This watch instantly receives it and violently vibrates while flashing goal in under 1 second, instantly supporting the human decision. Custom earpiece, the isolated feed, a microscopic physical speaker unit physically molded to the exact shape of the referee's ear canal. A standard earbud with fallout during a sprint, this creates a perfect acoustic seal, blocking out the deafening roar of 80,000 screaming fans. It allows the referee to hear whispered, encrypted instructions directly from the VAR room without distractions. Comms transceiver, the encrypted hub, a heavy-duty, waterproof radio pack strapped tightly to the referee's lower back or arm. It connects the entire officiating crew on a closed, military-grade frequency. It is the brain. It is built to withstand torrential rain, aggressive physical impacts, and severe radio interference inside massive concrete stadiums, keeping the crew connected. Push-to-talk button, the open mic, a flat, rubberized button taped directly to the referee's sternum or chest strap. Referees do not have time to reach for a radio during play. Whenever they need to speak to the video assistants, they simply press their hand flat against their chest, instantly activating the mic through the fabric of their jersey while never taking their eyes off the action. GPS tracking vest, the biometric spy, a tight neoprene harness worn directly against the skin, holding a small pod between the shoulder blades. If you've never seen this data, elite referees run up to 8 miles a match. This vest tracks their heart rate, top sprint speeds, and heat maps in real time, allowing fitness coaches to monitor positioning and exhaustion during elite performance. Primary chronograph, the match engine, a specialized heavy-duty digital watch built specifically for football officiating. It doesn't just run a standard stopwatch, it runs multiple timers simultaneously, counting up to 45 minutes, counting down to 0, and independently tracking every single second of stoppage time caused by injuries or VAR reviews, keeping the game on schedule. Redundant backup watch, the mechanical failsafe, a traditional, highly legible analog or simple digital watch worn on the opposite wrist. In a global broadcast, technology cannot be trusted completely. If the primary smartwatch dies, freezes, or takes a physical impact, this basic, bulletproof timepiece ensures the referee always has an uncorrupted and reliable match time. Ball pressure gauge, the bounce calibrator, a handheld digital or analog dial with a steel needle. The laws of the game are absolute. Before kickoff, the referee uses this to verify that every single match ball is inflated to exactly 0.6 to 1.1 atmospheres, ensuring the ball's aerodynamics and bounce are mathematically identical for both teams. Match record booklet, the official ledger, a highly specialized sweat-proof and waterproof folding wallet. Referees cannot rely on memory. Inside, custom-printed paper templates are used to instantly log goal scorers, shirt numbers, and exactly which minute a card was issued, creating the indisputable legal record of the match. Micropencil, the infallible writer, a tiny wooden pencil stripped of any eraser, often sharpened at both ends. Why not a pen? Because in freezing rain or pouring sweat, ink smears, bleeds, and fails completely. Graphite is completely waterproof, guaranteeing the referee can always write down the crucial match data regardless of the weather. Match coin, the fate decider, a specialized heavy metal coin. It isn't standard currency. Custom minted for specific tournaments, it is heavily weighted to ensure it cuts through heavy wind and lands perfectly flat on the grass. definitively deciding which team gets the decisive kickoff. Vanishing spray, the line enforcer, a compressed aerosol canister filled with an aqueous polymer emulsion. Free kicks used to be a nightmare of cheating. The referee blasts this white foam onto the grass to draw an absolute, uncrossable boundary for the defensive wall. The brilliant chemistry ensures the foam completely evaporates and vanishes in exactly 60 seconds. Spray holster, the tactical clip, a heavy-duty plastic or fabric harness that clips directly to the referee's shorts. It requires a zero-look rapid draw. Designed like a police holster, it physically locks the aerosol can to the referee's hip during high-speed sprints, while never taking their eyes off the action. The stadium beacon, a massive, heavy, double-sided LED matrix board operated by the fourth official. It must be seen by 80,000 people at once. Powered by heavy lithium batteries, it blasts hyper-bright green and red numbers through the Salium lights, officially signaling substitutions and broadcasting the exact amount of added stoppage time added to the clock.
The P-less whistle, the sound weapon. A solid plastic whistle with 0 moving parts inside, like the famous Fox 40. To someone who only knows old-school whistles, a P can jam from spit or dirt. This uses harmonic chambers to force air into a piercing 120 decibel shriek that physically cuts through the ambient noise of a massive stadium without ever failing. Wrist lanyard, the ergonomic tether. A short coiled elastic cord attaching the whistle directly to the wrist. Neck lanyards bounce and hit the face during sprints. This keeps the whistle perfectly locked in the palm of the hand. The referee can drop it to use both hands for signaling and instantly snap it back to their mouth in a fraction of a second. Yellow card, the tactical caution. A brightly colored neon yellow card made of flexible, weatherproof PVC. It isn't just smooth plastic. Professional cards have a specifically engineered matte, rough texture. This physically prevents the card from sticking to the inside of a sweaty pocket, guaranteeing a lightning-fast, flawless draw when tensions flare. Red card, the ultimate sanction. The neon red PVC card, often slightly thicker or cut to a different shape than the yellow. Referees cannot take their eyes off a volatile situation to look down. By making this card a different thickness or keeping it in a dedicated back pocket, it ensures a flawless blind draw, preventing the disaster of pulling the wrong color. Write-on sticker, the Rapid Ledger. A custom-printed waterproof matte sticker adhered directly to the back of the yellow or red card. Digging for a booklet takes too long. Many elite referees stick the match template right on the cards. They pull the card, hold it high, and instantly write the player's number on the back in one seamless, authoritative motion. Electronic flag handle, the silent alarm. The heavy, rubberized grip used by the assistant referees on the touchline. In a roaring stadium, the referee might not see the flag go up. This handle contains a hidden radio transmitter. When the assistant presses the thumb button, it sends an encrypted radio burst that violently vibrates the main referee's comms pack, ensuring the foul is instantly acknowledged. High-vis flag fabric, the optical contrast. The neon yellow and orange checkered or diamond patterned fabric of the assistant's flag. The design isn't for style, it is an optical necessity. The alternating neon colors create a flickering strobe effect when waved, ensuring the flag physically catches the human eye against the chaotic background of thousands of moving fans. Referee boots, the multi-directional anchor. Specialized football boots featuring completely circular, conical studs on the sole. Players wear bladed studs to sprint purely forward. Referees spend 80% of the match backpedaling, sidestepping, and turning blindly. These circular studs act like ball bearings in the grass, allowing for explosive multi-directional pivoting without twisting a knee. Headset microphone, the windshield. The tiny microphone boom positioned near the referee's mouth. A referee sprints at 20 miles per hour in open weather. A standard mic would transmit deafening wind noise to the entire crew. This boom uses dense acoustic foam and dynamic noise-canceling algorithms to isolate the human voice, completely muting the rushing wind and stadium chants. Wire harness, the invisible lifeline. The thin cables running from the earpiece down to the transceiver pack. Loose wires get snagged by flailing player arms. Referees use specialized medical tape and an undershirt harness to tape these wires completely flush against their spine and neck, ensuring absolute aerodynamic security during a chaotic 90-minute match. Dual pocket jersey, the secure vault. The referee's shirt featuring 2 specialized high-tension breast pockets. Running at full speed makes items fly out. These pockets feature heavy-duty Velcro seals and an internal friction lining, guaranteeing the notebook, cards, and spare whistle remain completely locked in place, no matter how aggressively the referee moves. Stud gauge, the safety caliper. A specialized metal wrench or caliper used by the officials before kickoff. Aluminum players' studs can become sharpened like razor blades over time. In the tunnel, the officials run this gauge over the player's boots. If a stud is too sharp or missing its safety cap, the player is physically banned from the pitch to prevent catastrophic tearing injuries. Pitch side monitor, the review terminal. A heavy, weatherproofed, high-definition screen located in the referee review area. This is where the ultimate decisions are made. Connected via massive fiber optic cables to the broadcast truck, it provides the referee with perfectly uncompressed, multi-angle, slow-motion replays, allowing them to see exactly what the video assistants see in real time. Anti-glare hood, the optical shield. A heavy, rigid plastic or canvas awning bolted around the VAR monitor. Stadium lights and afternoon sun destroy visibility. When assessing a microscopic handball, contrast is everything. This heavy hood physically blocks 100% of ambient glare, creating a darkroom effect on the touchline so the referee can see the darkest, sharpest pixels possible. Card wallet, the moisture lock. A small, specialized bifold sleeve made of waterproof vinyl. A referee's jersey is soaked in sweat within 20 minutes. If the match booklet touches the fabric, the paper melts and the ink is destroyed. This impenetrable vinyl shield physically isolates the paper records from the referee's body heat and moisture, keeping the crucial data bone dry.
Hawkeye camera node, the triangulation eye. One of 12 specialized optical cameras mounted in the stadium catwalks. It doesn't just record video, it mathematically tracks 29 specific data points on every single player's body from the tip of their boot to their shoulder, creating a flawless real-time 3D skeleton of the entire match. VAR server rack, the data vault. A heavy, climate-controlled tower of black servers hidden deep within the stadium bowels. A human brain cannot process 14 camera angles at once. This supercomputer ingests massive amounts of 4K video data every second, instantly synchronizing the feeds perfectly so the video assistants can review a high-speed collision from 4 different angles at the exact same millisecond. Audio mixer board, the noise killer. The physical mixing console used by the VAR audio technician. When a referee needs to hear the specific thud of a boot hitting a shin, the technician physically pushes these faders, instantly compressing 80,000 screaming fans into silence while violently boosting the microscopic sound frequencies of the collision on the pitch. Goal net anchor, the tension lock. Heavy-duty steel pegs driven deep into the turf behind the goalposts. The referee physically aggressively pulls the net before every match. If the net is too loose, the ball can slip underneath. If it's too tight, a 90-mile-per-hour strike will bounce violently back out, creating massive confusion over whether a goal was actually scored. Spring-loaded base, the impact absorber. The heavy hinged mechanical joint at the bottom of the corner flag. Players constantly crash into the corner flags at full sprint. A rigid pole would snap or impale an athlete. This heavy spring allows the thick plastic pole to bend a full 90 degrees flush with the turf, absorbing the violent impact before instantly whipping back to a perfect vertical stance. Pitch thermometer, the hydration trigger. A highly calibrated portable weather station placed at pitch level.
Stadiums trap heat like massive concrete ovens. If the core temperature and humidity levels breach the official safety threshold, the referee uses this exact data to mandate emergency cooling breaks, physically preventing the athletes from suffering fatal heat stroke. Line extruder, the geometric printer, a heavy wheeled machine used by groundskeepers strictly inspected by officials. The penalty box isn't just a rough estimate, it is a legally binding boundary. This machine sprays a hyperpigmented titanium dioxide compound, laying down blindingly white lines with absolute millimeter-perfect geometric precision, defining the strict legal zones of the match. Substitutes bib, the visual silencer. A brightly colored loose mesh vest worn by bench players warming up. It seems like basic practice gear, but it is a legal requirement. To the referee's peripheral vision, a player warming up on the touchline in a team kit looks identical to an active player. This contrasting neon bib instantly nullifies them, telling the referee's brain to completely ignore their presence. Compression base layer, the muscle anchor. A skin-tight medical-grade fabric worn under the referee's uniform. Referees do not get substituted. They must survive the full 90 minutes. This incredibly tight fabric acts as an external ligament. It compresses the veins to dramatically accelerate blood flow and physically locks the muscles in place, drastically reducing the micro tears and fatigue caused by sudden explosive sprinting. Reflex lights, the reaction calibrator. Specialized LED touch pods used in the referee's pre-match locker room warm-up. Physical speed isn't enough. Visual processing speed must be activated. These pods flash randomly in milliseconds. The referee must violently strike them, firing up their central nervous system and bridging the microscopic gap between seeing a foul and blowing the whistle. Pneumatic boots, the blood flusher. Massive, heavy-duty inflatable leg sleeves used immediately after the final whistle. Elite refereeing destroys the legs with lactic acid. Connected to an air compressor, these chambers sequentially crush the legs with immense pneumatic pressure, physically forcing the toxic deoxygenated blood out of the calves and accelerating the healing process for the next match. Fourth official's desk, the touchline barricade, a small portable technical station set up perfectly between the two rival dugouts. The fourth official doesn't just hold the substitution board. This station acts as a physical and psychological demilitarized zone. They are the diplomatic shield, constantly managing, warning, and physically blocking furious adrenaline-fueled managers from entering the pitch. Ball carry bag, the climate vault. A heavily insulated structured mesh or canvas bag used to transport the match balls to the pitch. The balls aren't just tossed onto the grass. They are prepared in a climate-controlled room to exact pressures. This thermal bag isolates the leather from sudden temperature drops or baking sun in the tunnel, guaranteeing the aerodynamics remain flawless until kickoff. Tactical board, the positioning map. A large magnetic whiteboard used in the referee's private dressing room. Referees study tactics just as hard as the players. Before the match, the crew uses these magnets to map out the specific attacking patterns and aggressive tendencies of both teams, allowing the officials to proactively position themselves perfectly to see the crucial passes. The official badge, the ultimate seal. An intricately woven heavy fabric patch physically sewn over the referee's heart. It takes decades of flawless performance to earn this. It isn't a logo, it is the ultimate delegation of power. When a player violently screams in the referee's face, this badge represents the full, unyielding legal authority of the global governing body. Their word is absolute law.
Jog shuttle wheel, the time manipulator. A heavy machined aluminum dial mounted on the VAR console. You can't review a microscopic foul at full speed. By rotating this weighted wheel, the video assistant physically forces the video feed to advance frame by frame, analyzing a violent collision in increments of 1/100th of a second. Offside trackball, the 3D architect. A large, heavy plastic sphere integrated into the VAR desk. Standard computer mice are too inaccurate. The operator rolls this ball to drag a massive virtual 3D grid across the pitch. They drop a microscopic crosshair directly onto the attacker's leading toe, letting the supercomputer mathematically draw the definitive offside lines. Aviation headset, The bunker isolation. A massive, heavy-duty electronic headset with thick acoustic ear cups, similar to helicopter pilot gear. The video operation room is a high-stress, high-volume environment. To ensure absolute focus, this headset physically clamps down on the operator's head, completely muting the chaos of the room, so they only hear the isolated, frantic breathing and voice of the on-pitch referee. Calibration board. The optical anchor. A large, heavy board painted with a high-contrast black and white checkerboard pattern. Hours before kickoff, technicians place this on the grass. The 12 Hawkeye roof cameras zoom in and mathematically lock on to these intersecting squares, calibrating their depth perception so they can perfectly triangulate the ball in 3D space during the match. Goal line camera. The 500-frame witness. A specialized industrial camera bolted rigidly to the stadium roof, pointing straight down at the goal. A ball kicked at 90 miles per hour is invisible to standard cameras. This lens operates at an impossible 500 frames per second. It captures a perfectly crisp, frozen image of the ball every 2 milliseconds, ensuring it never sneaks across the line unseen. Moisture probe. The slickless tester. A heavy metal wand with 2 deep prongs driven directly into the pitch. The speed of the match is dictated by the grass. Officials and groundskeepers use this to read the exact water content of the soil. If it's too dry, the ball stops dead. If it's too wet, players suffer catastrophic slip injuries. The pitch is watered until this screen reads the mathematical ideal. Impact hammer. The concussion calibrator. A heavy, industrial metal cylinder dropped through a guide tube onto the grass. A pitch that is too hard destroys knees and ankles. This tool measures surface hardness. An internal accelerometer measures exactly how violently the heavy hammer decelerates when it hits the dirt, proving to the officials that the field is safe enough to absorb the impact of falling players. Sphericity ring. The geometry enforcer. A solid, perfectly machined ring of heavy stainless steel. A football takes massive abuse and can warp into an oval. Before a major tournament match, the official physically passes every single ball through this exact metal ring at multiple angles. If the ball touches the metal on any side, it is not a perfect sphere and it is instantly rejected. Lux meter. The shadow killer. A handheld digital sensor equipped with a white light-gathering dome. Shadows hide fouls. The official walks the entire pitch holding this device up to the stadium floods. It mathematically measures the lux level, ensuring the lighting is perfectly uniform across all 100 yards, guaranteeing the ultra-high-speed VAR cameras will never suffer from a dark spot. Percussion gun. The lactic breaker. A heavy-duty handheld massage device with a rapidly pulsating silicone head, used in the referee locker room during the 15-minute halftime. The physiotherapist drives this violently into the referee's calves. It punches the muscle tissue up to 40 times per second, physically breaking up lactic acid crystals and instantly restoring explosive sprint power for the second half. Security earpiece. The Crisis Link. A completely separate, clear acoustic tube worn specifically by the fourth official. The referees manage the players, but the fourth official manages the stadium. This earpiece is patched directly into the stadium police and security grid, instantly alerting the officiating crew if there is a crowd crush, a pitch invasion, or a severe security threat. Match plinth. The ceremonial pedestal. A heavy, branded, illuminated pedestal sitting at the absolute center of the player tunnel. It isn't just a stand. It keeps the final, strictly calibrated match ball isolated and untouched by human hands until the exact moment the referee leads the two armies out onto the grass, preserving its flawless condition. Equipment trunk. The armored vault. A massive, heavy-duty flight case with steel corners and padlock latches. Elite refereeing gear is highly classified and incredibly expensive. When the crew travels across Europe, all comm systems, tracking vests, and primary watches are locked inside this shock-proof vault, guaranteeing the technology survives brutal airport logistics and arrives uncorrupted. Encrypted tablet. The final judgment. A ruggedized, highly secured tablet used by the referee immediately after the final whistle. Paper booklets get wet or lost. Inside the locked dressing room, the referee inputs every yellow card, red card, and goal into this dedicated software. With one tap, the encrypted data is fired directly to the governing body's servers, officially sealing the history of the match. The whistle case. The silent vault. A small, heavily padded hardshell case specifically molded for the referee's primary and backup whistles. It is the most important tool they own. To prevent the precise plastic harmonic chambers from being crushed, scratched, or clogged with dust during travel, the whistles are locked inside this dark foam vault the second the match officially concludes.